Robert De Niro had spent 30 years bringing to life some of the most iconic characters in film history. But he'd shielded himself from the public eye until the media invaded his private life in the 80s. In 1988, after 9 years of separation, he finalized his divorce with Diane Abbott and began dating model and caterer Doris Tukey Smith.
Tukey Smith was the sister of a designer named Willie Smith. She was also a model who then became sort of a caterer, restaurant owner, and she was a fabulous personality. She was super outgoing and was just one of the real New York legends of that time.
Though the couple never married, they remained together for 10 years and became parents in 1995 to twin boys. But by 1997, another woman had captured the actor's full attention.
De Niro met Grace Hightower when she was the manager of a very upscale Upper East Side eatery. She had to inform him that his reservation had been lost. I guess he didn't hold it against her because a year later, he ran into her again, they hit it off.
The couple married on June 17, 1997, and became parents of son Aaron a year later. While his personal life grew increasingly complicated, by his fifth decade, De Niro's astonishing career seemed to be flagging.
In the 70s, Robert De Niro was on fire. It was almost like every movie he made was a near masterpiece. And then in the 90s, his career turned. He was still working a lot, but he wasn't making iconic choices like he used to. I mean, he had some very memorable roles, Cape Fear, and of course there's Heat with Al Pacino, but did he really have to play Frankenstein's monster and The Fan? From a critical perspective, a lot of people felt like he lost his touch.
He might have faded away. And I think he made a very deliberate decision. No, I don't want to fade away. I don't want to be Robert De Niro, the legend from those 70s movies. I want to be someone who's really participating in the kind of movies they make now.
In 1999, De Niro got a chance to update his image in a surprising way. Analyze This was a comedy to star Billy Crystal and to be directed by comic film veteran Harold Ramis.
Analyze This is the story of a mafia boss who starts experiencing anxiety attacks and realizes he has to see a psychiatrist. I was given a script, and Billy's going to be the psychiatrist, and I said, who's going to be the mob boss? And my agent said, what if it was Robert De Niro? I said, yeah, that would be very cool, wouldn't it?
But De Niro, as a funny man, the consummate dramatic actor needed some persuading before he'd take the part.
When I was part of pushing him into doing the first movie, and believe me, trust me, that kind of thing, and you'll be greatness, people want to see you do this kind of thing, you know, and you got to wink at yourself a little bit. They'll go nuts.
At last, De Niro agreed to play neurotic crime boss Paul Vitti. But when the camera started rolling, Harold Ramis learned directing a perfectionist like De Niro can be demanding.
A young actress had come in that everybody liked, but I thought she was not really right. But anyway, I got a call from Bob. He said, I think we should hire that girl. And I said, I don't know, that doesn't feel quite right. He said, well, you're wrong. And he starts screaming at me. My overwhelming thought was, hey, Raging Bull guy is yelling at me. And I thought, this is so cool. Next morning on the set, he comes up and he puts his arms around me, and I said, don't get emotional, it's fine, I'm cool. And that was the last time he ever raised his voice in my presence, you know. But he was so passionate about it. In a way, he's completely involved in every single detail of what's going on. The tension of working around Robert De Niro can be extreme, not because he's temperamental or difficult, but because he's good. And he takes everything very seriously, and you want to kind of work at his level. Sometimes you're not really directing him, you're just standing by and making sure everyone's quiet while he works. And sometimes I would say, cut, I think we got it, that was great, Bob. And he'd say, no, I think we need another one. Yeah, let's do another one, that's a good idea.
When Analyze This opened on March 5th, 1999, De Niro's comedy gamble paid off. The film was a box office smash, raking in more than $176 million worldwide to become the highest-grossing film of his career. Better yet, it revitalized his image.
Analyze This was a huge hit. It really had people looking at De Niro in a different way. They're saying, wait, this guy can be funny.
You don't hear the word no very often, do you?
I hear it all the time, only it's more like, no, please, no, no.
After Analyze This and Analyze That, he did Meet the Parents, and then its sequel, Meet the Fockers, which were also very big comedic hits for him.
Meet the Fockers brought in $500 million in worldwide ticket sales in 2004, a new record for De Niro. He personally took home a $20 million paycheck. and the film further cemented his comedic reputation.
He embraced a comedic character, but he did it in a way that still poked fun at his image. He played it for laughs. It was a great way for him to transition from serious actor into comedic actor.
It's funny now when people say, like, oh, Robert De Niro, the greatest, most intense actor of our time, and people go, the guy from Meet the Parents?
But for Robert De Niro, the late 90s weren't just a time to expand his artistic horizons.
One thing that De Niro's done recently is to start producing projects on his own with his producing partner, Jane Rosenthal. They formed Tribeca Productions.
Down in Lower Manhattan, where he had lived in Tribeca, the area that has become one of the most popular sections of Manhattan, he ended up developing it and sort of creating this community, and then one of the centerpieces of it is the Tribeca Film Center.
De Niro opened the Tribeca Film Center in 1998 as a headquarters for his Tribeca Productions and for other film and television productions shooting in the New York area.
New York is my home, so I would always rather do a movie here than anywhere else. Sometimes I have to go other places for various reasons, but it's my home. You know, I'll be here as much as I can, which is a lot.
In 2001, when the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center occurred just outside his Tribeca doorstep, De Niro put business aside.
Right after 9/11, De Niro gets a cruise ship to park right off of Lower Manhattan, and then he and some other friends who own restaurants in Lower Manhattan fed the crews that were cleaning up and going through the rubble. He became one of the faces of this post-9/11 rally cry that we have to build back up this special part of New York.
On May 8, 2002, De Niro helped revitalize the downtown cultural community that had been devastated by the attacks by launching the first annual Tribeca Film Festival.
120 days ago, we set out to launch a film festival. Our goal was to celebrate the power of filmmaking, but more importantly, to revitalize our neighborhood that was devastated on September 11th.
The Tribeca Film Festival was a conscious effort by De Niro to bring people back to Lower Manhattan after 9/11 and then have them escape into movies and not have to think about what just happened. He did it not to promote himself, not to promote his own movies, but really to help out his city.
It is a steadfast belief in the power of cinema that has carried De Niro through nearly a half-century of movie making. And while so many Hollywood actors allow their own fame to eclipse their art, De Niro the man seems to vanish into every role, making him a fascinating enigma and one of the greatest actors of our time.
I was honored and privileged, as I will be the rest of my life, to say that I got to work with him and that he gave me the opportunity to learn from him.
Robert De Niro is going to be making movies for a long time to come. He is a great actor. He still has a lot of great performances left in him.
He's really one of the few people I know who's taken his fame and power and money and access and used it to create something really meaningful. And I think his life is very much about meaning.
Ernest Hemingway was once asked to explain himself, and Hemingway pointed to a row of his books and said, "Read them. There's more of me in there than there is here." And I think De Niro would probably say that about his films, that they speak for themselves.